You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, and if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. Don't box I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine.
Welcome to the Wednesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Wednesday as far as that is possible. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. Lots of stuff to talk about, folks. Lots of stuff happening. Heat, how's it going? Tuba, John, Lithium, welcome, everybody. What do? I do things and stuff, you know? That's what I do. And what do you blame? I don't know, man. Society? Oh boy. We're doing great, folks. We're doing great. Ladybug, welcome. T-Bone. T-Bone, welcome. Thank you all for being here, folks. We've got a few things to talk about, and we're going to try to mosey on out of here. Thank you all. If you want to support the channel, do all the things. Check out all the stuff and do the things and, you know, and whatnot. One of the best ways to support the channel is, seriously, folks, spreading the word far and wide. We are here Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, here on Twitch and YouTube. And every Tuesday, you can check out my show on this space at about 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So check that out. If you want to support the channel directly, check out the links that are there. Do all the stuff. Click on all the things. Join the Discord, folks. It's really important. And join or follow the Substack. I'm going to start making my way to posting that on the Substack again. The circumstances here are not great, folks. It's really it's really not good. This is I believe at this point day 4 of this war, and the casualties are presumably above 1,000 at this point. This is all just such nonsense, and really it's all just really unsettling. Like now, now being an adult, okay, because like when the bullshit war on terror, okay, when the GWAT under Bush Jr., right, young W happened, you know, I was kind of young, so I didn't really it wasn't really like there, you know what I mean? I was too young to really understand or process like what exactly was happening. But I'm an adult, or at least I've been told I'm an adult. And just watching this live, essentially, right? Because it's all over the place, right? It's over social media. You can't really escape it. And unlike the war on terror back then, the updates that you get is basically like on in social media is basically in real time. Like we're just watching this war happen, essentially. It's pretty unsettling. These are very uncertain times. Yeah, how dare you start without me? My apologies. I'll make sure you're in chat next time. I heard a plane this morning and I just held my breath. I don't know, man. It's unsettling. It's not very it's all very unpredictable right now. Very unsettling times. I mean, like, I know it's only, and just to be clear, this is only March. We're in month 3, folks. We're in month 3 of year, I guess, going into year 2, by the way. Just so we're clear. Yeah. I guess I would like to also publicly also publicly retract the statement that I thought that the year 2026 was going to be good, and I would like to publicly retract any any prior statement saying that this was probably going to be a better year back in December. Yeah. Well, the term started January 20th. Oh my god, it didn't start. Wait, my mind is just blown. Was it? Yeah, it did just start, didn't it? Are we in month 3? Or is this? I'm so confused. Welcome, Nadia. The doors of the Patriot Act opened under George Bush, been downhill since. Yep. Did he get inaugurated on Did he get inaugurated on January of 2026? Or was it January of 2025? My mind is cooked, folks. Oh, it's basically still a year. That's how bad. Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. It'll be a month 3 starting in 20. Okay, gotcha. They just mean it doesn't perfectly align with the calendar year. Oh, okay. It'll be month 3 starting in 20. Okay, gotcha. Yes. Okay. Man, my perception of time is just so warped. I understand. No need to apologize. We'd like to hope things will get better eventually. Yeah, I mean, I may end up retracting that that statement. But yeah, no, I was pretty like convinced. I was like, hey, the 2026 was probably going to be a lot better. So far that has not been the case. But if things change, then so will I. It's that simple. Echo Resto Dragon, welcome. Still a year. I fled the country. Gotcha. Okay, this makes a lot more sense. My perception of time is just freaking cooked because of all this. Let me tell you. It feels like forever. It feels like time is moving so slow. It's so slow, yet so fast at the same time. I feel like everything is happening all at the same time. And yeah, time is just like messing with me. It's only been a year. Hopefully cholesterol gets him sooner rather than later. I mean, if he keeps it up with the fish fillets. I watched the inauguration from La Ciudad de Mexico. Burger gods, do your thing. I mean, it's all him, by the way. That's all God bless. You know, it's all Donald Trump on that one. God bless. You know, may he order all the fish fillets and McDonald's burgers that he wants. Okay, may the gods bless him with as many McDonald's hamburgers and fish fillets or filletos or whatever they're called. God bless him. Okay. He needs as many of those as he can humanly possibly get or ask for. Maybe they'll build the Mickey D's in the White House. I mean, if that's what the president wants, you know, I mean, my tax dollars can go to that. I fully support that endeavor. I'm in Berlin now. How are things there? Suppose it's better than here. Bruno, welcome. Good stuff happening. Am I late to the Polymarket Studios? No, you're just in time because we're just about to start. Baron thinks the rash he has might be skin cancer. I've heard a couple of theories. It might also be shingles. I mean, I'm not like a doctor. I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not gonna pretend that I know, but it doesn't look good. I mean, if it's shingles, that's not great at his age. Not good. If it's skin cancer, not good as well. I mean, like, the dude isn't exactly a paragon of health. So, you know what I mean? There's a picture on the back of his neck. His skin is sloughing off. Yeesh. Yeesh. Give him as much cholesterol as he wants and then some. Yeah, God bless. He can have as many McDonald's meals as possible. As many as that man wants. The Secret Service can go pick it up for him, okay? God bless him. As many. Okay, as many as he orders. Please.
It's already bad enough that we're...
Whoa, we got a new studio. Is this a brand new studio? This is genuinely the first video I've seen like this. Or is he doing like a collaboration? It's the concentrated evil inside bubbling out in a manifestation of physical corruption. Agreed. The rashes are from taking the dementia shots. I mean, possibly. I don't know. The guy's cooked, okay? He's not... He could have all of these things, or a combination of these things. Who knows? The guy isn't exactly a paragon of health. That's for sure. Yeah, it looks nice. I'm very impressed. This is like... He gives me more like kind of like I think it's Kyle Kalinske and Friends, or Kyle and Friends, or Crystal and Friends. But like a more a more intimate vibe. I dig it. You know what? I dig it. Okay. I might have to do some redecoration and get inspired, because this is nice. I like this. You could tell he's put some work into it. All these panels here are soundproofing panels. Yeah, no, they're probably soundproofing panels, if I had to take a guess. No, this is good stuff. This is very impressive. This is very impressive.
Ruled by corrupt, authoritarian, fascist, billionaire PDF files, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. But to make matters worse, there's a faction of religious extremists within the Trump regime who think that they're actualizing biblical end times prophecy by doing the bidding of Israel.
Yep. That's how he gets bruises and rashes. I mean, yeah, possibly. He's getting, drugged up to treat stuff, yeah. Germany's been having some issues because they screwed East Germany over 35 years ago, apparently. The left exit of being in the Soviet bloc failed, so the former East Germany has been going to the right. AfD, Bjorn, Huke, Beatrix von Storch, Alice Weidel, Martin Sellner, far right. Martin Sellner rings a bell. Not cool.
Yeah, and they also think that war with Iran is going to help usher in the Armageddon. In fact, influential Christian Zionists like Pastor John Hagee are telling their congregations that Trump's war with Iran is actually part of God's plan, and that God is going to militarily assist Israel if Christians pray hard enough, and if Israel prevails in the end, it'll subsequently lead to a righteous revival in the United States.
Yeah,
and
fantastic.
Israel's imperial conquest is important to fundamentalists like John Hagee, because, as journalist Hemant Mehta points out, Hagee believes Israel has a right to take over much of the Middle East, which is why he and ally Mike Huckabee have been avid supporters of the genocide in Gaza. Hagee believes that Israel's success will hasten end-time prophecies and bring on the second coming of Christ, and eventually lead to everyone converting to Christianity.
Yeah, this is just insane stuff. And this isn't even new, by the way. This isn't this isn't even new. At all. Gog and Magog. That guy's not long for this world either. He doesn't give an F. True.
Or else. It's why his group, Christians United for Israel, is even larger than the more well-known pro-Israel lobbying group AIPAC. And to elaborate on the or else that Mehta was referring to, it means that everybody has to convert or be killed, including all Jews. So the core belief of Christian Zionists is deeply anti-Semitic. They only want Israel to control all of the Middle East so that way Jesus can come back.
Right. It's based on this, like, insane prophecy that is based on this. This is wild. This is crazy stuff. This is dangerous. Okay, this is dangerous. Because now it's not because now it's not, oh, we have to defeat Iran because they have nuclear weapons. Oh, we have to defeat Iran because they have a insurmountable amount of ballistic missiles that can destroy our bases in the Middle East. Nope. It's not, Iran is imminently going to attack Israel. No, this is a Christian jihad, essentially. This is mandated by God, and that is dangerous. That is the red zone, folks. There is no turning back from that, because it's mandated by God. Does that make sense? You often think that Iran is one of Gog and Magog. Just insane stuff. A military commander was saying this too. Yeah, Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth was talking about this. And as Bruno mentioned, some people in the military are uncomfortable hearing some of these commanders and Pete Hegseth talk like this, because obviously not every single one of the people in the military are Christian, right? So this all sounds insane, because it is. I hope Professor Jiang's take will come true. They're casting a spell by starting World War III around Israel in order to end the world to summon Jesus. Yep. Something like that, basically. Exactly, Nadia. A lot of troops have filed complaints against him too. Yes, that's exactly what I was referencing. I believe it's over 100 complaints at this point. Something along the lines of 120 something. Call it 120. Above 120.
And send everyone to hell if they don't convert to Christianity. And Israeli leaders like Netanyahu are well aware of this fact, but they don't care, seeing as how deranged Christian Zionists are helping them achieve their own Zionist expansionism. But this belief isn't some conspiracy theory. This is what they actually believe. I was taught the same thing as a fundamentalist myself when I was a kid, and U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee actually admitted such in a recent interview with Tucker Carlson.
You've appealed to Genesis. Genesis 15 says it's Abram, it's pre-Abraham, it's Abram, receives from God the news that his descendants will inherit the land. And you tell me as the theologian if I'm getting this wrong. But
this is just insanity. This is delusion. This is mass delusion to think that you have a right because God told you, right? Conveniently, God bestowed, you as the chosen people to do this. This is insanity. And not all Christians believe this, just the super right-wing ones, and people use religion to justify their power grubbing. Yeah, 100%. It's not all Christians who believe this, but like a lot of the fundamentalists, a lot of these evangelicals that are incidentally also extremely political, like Mike Huckabee and these people, they're all about this. There's an uncomfortable amount of them in charge right now. And there are also many Christians who don't believe what's in the Bible should be taken as literal. Thus, you are Christian but not fundamentalist. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of people who call themselves Christian who are of the belief of Christianity or a branch of Christianity that are against this. And there's it's just like the religious extremism, right? In the same way, like you would criticize like all these religious extremists who, for example, like the Iranian government who oppress women, right? It's the same thing. Like these people just want it in the reverse. Correct. It's not just Iran who has ayatollahs. The U.S. government also has ayatollahs. Yes. That's exactly what I was going, where I was going with that, Bruno. It's because of this religious fundamentalism This is dangerous, folks. This is in the danger zone. When we start talking about how God has given us a mandate to do X, Y, or Z, this is dangerous territory, folks.
From the Euphrates to the Nile. I think that's right. And that would include like basically the entire Middle East. That would be the Levant. So that would be Israel, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon. It would also be big parts of Saudi Arabia and Iraq. It would be, I mean,
I'm not sure it would go that far. I mean, it would be a big piece of land, but here's the point.
it would be a lot of
Bad lefty, welcome. You have the danger zone. This is the bad times, folks. This is like the Game of Thrones plot. I mean,
places that are now countries that
But this particular area that we're talking about now,
Kirkenstein's monster, welcome.
Israel, is a land that God gave through Abraham to a people that he chose. It was a people, a place, and a purpose.
See, that's danger, 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 danger. Looney Tunes, welcome. Kirkenstein's monster, Soul Life, welcome. Did anyone raid over from the Vanguard? I mean, there's some folks here. Absolutely. It looks like some folks are here. Yeah, God chose wrong. Saris, welcome. Yeah, it appears some folks are hanging out. You missed Matt Leck as their guest. Nice. Hey, that's pretty awesome. Nice.
Look at it that way. Christian Zionism. I want to go back because that's where we started.
I'm not going to let you off on this because you have said
ahead.
it 3 times
Okay.
that God gave this land
Yeah.
to this people. And so it is entirely fair for me with respect to ask, what land are you talking about? Because I just read Genesis 15, as I have many times. And that land, I think it says, from the Nile to the Euphrates, which is, once again, basically the entire Middle East. So God gave that land to his people, the Jews, or he didn't. You're saying he did. What does that mean? Does Israel have the right to that land? Because you're appealing to Genesis.
Yeah.
You're saying that's the original deed.
It would be fine if they took it all.
And again, he's fine with Israel taking over all of the Middle East because Jesus can't come back until that happens. But this extreme fundamentalism is so much more prevalent in the Trump regime than I think anyone.
Welcome, welcome. YouTube shadow banning me again? I see your chats. I see you. I see your chats. Panda. Oh, wait. Is that you, Bruno? I love Christian Dominionism. Welcome. Wait a minute. It was a Vanguard raid. Yeah, saving the city by burning it down. Sorry, Nadia.
Realized.
Thoughtless anger. Thank you.
And
for the
journalist
follow.
Jonathan
Appreciate it.
Larson reports that Defense Secretary Pete
But the city as it is right now is infested with the wrong type of believer. True.
Hegseth has essentially turned the U.S. military into a vehicle for this kind of Christian Zionist end times prophecies. He reports Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has enshrined evangelical Christianity at the uppermost levels of the U.S. military, airing monthly prayer meetings throughout the Pentagon. Last year, the Pentagon confirmed to me that Hegseth attends a weekly White House Bible study. It's led by a preacher who says God commands America to support Israel. Now, here's the result of that. A combat unit commander told non-commissioned officers at a briefing Monday that the Iran war is actually part of God's plan and that President Donald Trump was anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause the Armageddon and mark his return to Earth, according to a complaint by
Yeah, so this is extremely dangerous, right? Like this is beyond. This is beyond because like again, we're not talking about disarming Iran, right? Or whatever nonsense you want to say, whatever nonsense Marco Rubio is saying about defensively, preemptively attacking Iran. You know what I mean? we're talking about a Christian jihad essentially. This is a mandate from God. Yeah, exactly. We're talking about cleansing in holy fire because God told because this is what God commands, because we need to start the Armageddon so Jesus can get back you know, for the sequel, right? Tucker Carlson is a wonderful journalist. You know, he treats me so well. He should moderate the correspondence dinner. These woke journalists to say nice things about me, but they never do. You know, the mainstream media, they hate President Trump. President Trump has done so much for the mainstream news, and yet they hate me. I wonder if this is why the military wasn't prepared for this conflict. This moron is prioritizing evangelicalism instead of military preparation. They just asked manufacturers to increase production. Who knows? Who knows? These people, besides being incredibly dangerous, are also very stupid. Not least that we shouldn't be there anyways. They just want to decapitate the leadership and replace it with a puppet. I mean, supposedly, but they said, but they said that they didn't want regime change either, right? They claimed, like, this is what's so just insane about this whole thing. They said that they didn't want regime change, but if it happens, then it would be a happy happy downstream effect. But they are targeting the leadership. So this is just chaos, right? This will be 200 times worse than Iraq and Afghanistan combined. This is definitely a lot worse. Yeah, also defense contractors make a ton of money during wartime. Yep. Hence the Jerusalem cross tattoo with the iron cross as the peripheral crosses. Yep. Yep. He also has Deus Vault. Deus Vault tattooed on his back, I think. The whole thing was shoot first and plan later. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. They are a bunch of liars, true. And they've got nukes. Fantastic. Why do these fundamentalists praise something the Catholics did anyways? I thought they considered the Catholic Church as being heresy. Whatever. Consistency doesn't matter. Consistency and logic doesn't matter. I can say this because of Special Interests perfume. I think he would smell bad. I just know awful taste. He just smells like beer, probably, or alcohol.
By a non-commissioned officer. From Saturday morning through Monday night, more than 110 similar complaints about commanders in every branch by the military had been logged by the Military Religious Freedom Foundation. The complaints came from more than 40 different units spread across at least 30 military installations, the MRFF told me Monday night. The non-commissioned officer who filed the complaint said their commander urged us to tell our troops that this was all part of God's divine plan, and he specifically referenced numerous citations out of the book of Revelation referring to Armageddon and the imminent return of Jesus Christ. So these are the kinds of commanders who are in charge of the military at a time when the country is invading Iran.
Fantastic.
That's really bleak to hear, right? Now, Larson goes on to explain that the Military Religious Freedom Foundation has been inundated with complaints about religious liberty violations since the U.S. and Israel invaded Iran, because military commanders are basically creaming in their pants at the opportunity to now bring about the end times prophecy. And that is not hyperbole. It feels like I'm being uncharitable when I say that, but I'm not. The Military Religious Freedom Foundation said that across most of the complaints that they're receiving, troops are describing their commanders as having unrestrained euphoria over what they see as a biblically sanctioned war.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the problem, right? Like that's dangerous territory, as I keep saying, because like this is sanctioned by God himself, right? Insane overspear of Jupholm. That was Bohemond of Taranto at the battle at the siege of Amalfi in 1097. It was a medieval Italian, not Latin, Deus Volt, or not Deus Volt. They back translated into classic Latin. Gotcha. Why prepare when you can just pray? Exactly. Yeah, Israel has nukes there. I love Mike's new studio. Yeah, I was commenting on it earlier. I'm very impressed. I was commenting on it. Very, very impressed. For a second there, I thought he was like doing a collaboration with somebody. But yeah, heck yeah, this is a nice this is a nice setup.
So they are ecstatic that the U.S. is bombing Iran. They genuinely believe that Trump has a divine mandate to bomb another country. And commanders are pushing this religious extremism on their units because if Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is able to break code and violate religious liberty of troops that, he's in charge of and commanders and whatnot, then why can't they? Like, everything kind of rolls downhill from the top. If he does it, they feel like they're going to do it too. And much like Huckabee, Hegseth has the exact same views about Israel. And during Trump's first administration, Hegseth actually talked
Hello, Snake. Welcome.
about how Trump was a vehicle for God's divine will for Israel in a way that should alarm every single person.
Jennifer and I and others had a chance to go see the Western Wall of the Temple Mount, the Western Wall tunnels, so much of the old city. And as you stand there, you can't help but behold the miracle before you. And it got me thinking about another miracle that I hope all of you don't see too far away. Because 1917 was a miracle, 1948 was a miracle, 1967 was a miracle, 2017, the declaration of Jerusalem as the capital was a miracle, and there's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible. I don't know how it would happen. You don't know how it would happen, but I know that it could happen. That's all I know.
This is insanity.
And a step in that process, a step in every process, is the recognition that facts and activities on the ground truly matter. And that's why going and visiting Judea and Samaria, understanding that sovereignty, the very sovereignty of Israeli soil, and Israeli cities, locations, is a critical.
Didn't his old studio just get created like a year ago? Good question. I don't know when he redid it, but props, Iran had a fatwa against nuclear weapons this whole time. They were never ever building nukes. It's all been for nuclear medicine and nuclear power. Yeah, I don't believe for a second that Iran was anywhere close to building an actual nuclear weapon. This is yeah, I actually didn't know that they had an actual fatwa against it. But there's just like no evidence that they were ever interested in building a nuclear weapon, at least as far as even our own intelligence goes. They really weren't trying to do that at all. And yeah, so this is all just insanity. All insanity.
Critical next step to showing the world that this is the land for Jews and the land of Israel. And I believe, as was mentioned, he said you need to.
Yeah, King David
what was
Hotel.
mentioned is you need to buy the ticket. Don't just wish for 40 years to win the lottery. Buy the ticket. I would submit to you, in light of the support you have in Washington, D.C., the support you have amongst patriotic Americans, amongst evangelical
the
Christians,
Pentagon admitted that.
amongst believers, amongst Republicans, even amongst some Democrats who can barely say it anymore in Washington. Buy the ticket, take your action, do what needs to be done here in Israel, because I truly believe this is a moment where America will have your back. You have Donald Trump in the White House, you have Mike Pence as vice president, you have Nikki Haley at the UN, you have true believers in Israel and America that have your back.
Yeah, like this is just insanity, okay? And Trump winning the White House, Trump winning the presidency was the vehicle for this. Like Trump himself is not a Christian or not really a believer, so to say, or so to speak. He doesn't really he doesn't really he doesn't really go to church. He's not a church guy. He's not a Christian. However, he presented the perfect vehicle to drive this. This is insanity, folks. Okay, this is insanity. This is delusion. Okay, none of this is based on any realm of reality. We're fabricating biblical excuses to go to war, to go on this crusade against Iran. It was Ayatollah Khamenei from day one. There was a nuclear power and weapons program under the Shah. Khamenei repudiated the weapons program. Gotcha. They had very low intel. The Pentagon told Congress they had no idea Iran was named at all the places it targeted. They were shocked by the speed, and then they tell us that they knew a strike was coming. I mean, fantastic. Not you, the idiot in the video. The Pentagon acknowledged Iran was never close to producing a nuke. Yep. They're saying things that conflict with one another, everything right down to the objective. Yep, 100%.
And that guy is now our defense secretary. So he went to Israel and he told them to take over the West Bank, and he referred to the 1917 Balfour Declaration and the 1948 Nakba as miracles, and explicitly said that Israel will have the United States' support if they annex the West Bank. Fast forward to today, and that's exactly what Israel is doing. And Trump is letting it happen. Not because Trump subscribes to their loony religious views, but because a billionaire mega donor, Miriam Adelson, cut him a check for $100 million on the condition that he lets Israel annex the entire West Bank. But the fundamentalists are interpreting that corruption as Trump carrying out the will of God, when he's simply just doing the bidding of his donors who support Israel's imperialism.
Right. It's really that simple. Those were 2 links on Twitch. Let me check them out. What do we got here?
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
Fantastic.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade.
Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
If not stopped.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
But the Christian Zionist fascists genuinely believe that all of the stars are aligning right now for Jesus to come back. It's not just that Israel is taking over the West Bank, which is what they've long wanted. It's that Israel's enemies are also being vanquished, Iran. And because they think that biblical prophecy is coming to fruition, they're now really letting their freak flags fly, because why wouldn't they? If Jesus is about to come back, then the rules of engagement and the codes of conduct prohibiting commanders from pushing religion on their units are null and void, because God's law is finally usurping U.S. law and the Constitution. And I want to be very clear, it's not just that the religious freedom of U.S. service members is being violated. That would be a problem in and of itself. It's that this religious extremism is having a concrete effect on the battlefield. And this is the most chilling part of the story. So the Military Religious Freedom Foundation told Jonathan Larson, quote, many of their
It's been 6 months from a bomb longer than fusion energy has been just 10 years away. And in that time, the engineering behind net positive cost fusion energy has made at least some arguable progress, more than can be said of an Iranian nuclear weapons program. It's almost like Iran has never been trying. Yep. I hope Jesus does come back, because to be honest, I'm losing faith in much short of that disciplining his worst self-declared followers. Yeah.
commanders are especially delighted
Damn
with
it,
how
Looney Tunes, I don't
graphic
know.
this battle will be, zeroing in on how bloody all of this must
But
become.
Jesus in the Bible is not the one that kills other people. I
In
mean, they
order
think
to
so.
fulfill and be in 100% accordance with fundamentalist Christian end of the world eschatology. So they want the war to be bloody because if it's not bloody enough, Jesus won't come back.
Yeah.
Like, this is the level of delusion we are dealing with in this fucking country. And the war has already been incredibly bloody. The
Imagine if you're stupid enough to do a master thesis on Christian and world eschatology, slow motion car crash. Yeah.
U.S. and Israel killed 175
Wait,
girls.
didn't you work on cults? Didn't you work on something like this?
In a school bombing. And there are reports that Tehran is being carpet bombed. They are already committing war crimes, and it just began. And this is exactly what needs to happen.
Yep. Oh man, sorry, dude. Oof. Oof. If Jesus were to come back, he would surely kick the asses of MAGA and Netanyahu. Soulless death and despair. So tired of these goofy pagans. Pagans are awesome.
For Jesus to come back. Now, let me just remind you who it was again that explicitly announced that they would not abide by the rules of engagement.
The whole world would be better off.
No stupid rules of engagement.
That's right, it was that guy, the same guy who believes that the war has to be bloody for the biblical prophecy to be fulfilled. In other words, they think they have to commit war crimes for Jesus. If this were a Muslim, the U.S. government would declare him a terrorist. But since he's a Christian Zio-Nazi, it's barely a blip on anyone's radar.
It's the same thing. Yeah, extreme far right and doomsday cults. Gotcha.
So regardless if, this war is being waged for religious reasons or due to Trump's corruption, part of the reason why we are at war with Iran, make no mistake about it, is because of Israel. And Trump isn't willing to admit this yet, but make no mistake about it, that is the fucking reason why we're at war with Iran.
Yeah, and these people will just go along with it, These people are in a cult. They'll say that Trump is the one that's ushering in this new the second coming of Jesus. And if children in school have to die, so be it. If the dispensing of justice is clean, it is in punishment. The opponent must be punished not just for being wrong, but being divinely wrong. Yep.
Mr. President, did Israel force your hand to launch these strikes against Iran? Did Netanyahu pull the United States into this war?
No, I might have forced their hand. You see?
Yeah, even though Marco Rubio said that we had to go in because Israel was going to go regardless and we had to go back them up, right? And then Marco Rubio walked that back. Trump is saying, actually, I'm the one. This is so frustrating because it's all bullshit. Okay, just say that you want a distraction from the Epstein files. Just say that you want a distraction from the Epstein files. Just say that you're kowtowing to these crazy evangelicals. Okay, just do that. Obama being the Antichrist was a legit talking point in the American South for years. These people are mentally unwell. Yep. My parents are evangelical and they believe Trump was sent by God to deliver us from the elites. Fantastic. Welcome, Anna.
We were having negotiations with these lunatics, and it was my opinion that they were going to attack first. They were going to attack. If we didn't
There's
do
no
it,
evidence of that.
they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that. And we have great negotiators, great people that do this very successfully and have done it all their lives very successful. And based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first. And I didn't want that to happen. So if anything, I might have forced Israel's hand.
Sure you did. It's not that you were paid by the Israel lobby to do their bidding, or that Netanyahu made you think it was your idea, or that maybe he forced you to do it because your former bestie, Jeffrey Epstein, was an Israeli intelligence asset who maybe gave the Israeli government information to blackmail you with. I mean, if that were the case, Trump wouldn't be the first American president blackmailed by Netanyahu after all. You sincerely thought that an attack was imminent, even though your Pentagon said that that was not the case. Sure. But the good news is that we don't have to speculate because
I think Trump could be part of the Antichrist. Yeah, I look forward to being delivered from the elites. Yeah, but it won't come from Trump. Actually, Ooh, what's going on here? Okay. Actually, your favorite president, me, Donald J. Trump, forced Israel to start this war, you know. Benjamin Netanyahu came to me and said, Sir, you need to go in. You just need to go in. I needed to distract from the Epstein files because why are we still talking about Epstein, you know? He was just a bad man. I never knew him. I didn't do nothing. I was totally exonerated, you know. I totally exonerated. Ed, it's not about Iran. It's really about China. No, I think this is really, like, fundamentally, I think that it's absolutely about well, it's about several things, but one of them is bringing about Armageddon, and that can't be ignored. China is not really in the picture, actually. If you simply phrase the question in such a way, perceived denying involvement to make him look weak or not manly by his clearly quintessential toxic masculinity idea of what being a man entails. Hey, Mr. President, people are saying you're a weak little bee with a weak little bee that could even get it up to assault anyone. Is that true? You know, people talk about my pee, you know, it's all good, okay? There's nothing wrong down there, you know? Actually, I think that's almost verbatim what he said. Yeah, it's multi-purpose, chum for the base, money for weapons, industrial donors. He gets to stay in power and pretend to look strong. And the evangelicals get... their Armageddon. It's the only way I can see how so many Christians can believe him. It was, yeah, that's the thing that he said. I think it was during the 2015 primary, during the 2015 primary, he literally said something to the effect of, like, you know, there's nothing wrong down there, or we're good down there. I forget what he said, but yeah, it was close enough, okay? Things that happened in the 2015, this all could have been avoided, okay? Denying an economic and military base of support from perceived geopolitical rivals, China really rivals are not, aside many purposes, all bad or all imperialistic. Yeah, it was after the Rubio small hands comment. There you go. Yep. Yeah. Who are China's allies? Venezuela, Iran, Russia. Venezuela is out of play, as well Iran. Where is China going to get its energy? Think bigger picture. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't think Trump is thinking about China at all, actually. I don't think Trump is thinking about that at all. It's you know, we think that these people have some, like, elaborate, like, schemes, but that's not always the case. I don't think, yeah, buddy, we know. I always think if we could have had Bernie, yep. Imagine a different timeline.
Rubio confirmed that it was, in fact, Israel that goaded the U.S. into this war with Iran the second time in the span of a year. Nick Turse of The Intercept reports that Rubio essentially admitted that we're essentially fighting Israel's war. Quote, he explained that the government of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had effectively boxed in the Trump administration, taking the decision out of American hands. Quote, we knew that there was going to be an Israeli action, Rubio explained. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces, and we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer high higher casualties. So rather than telling our own vassal state, no, you're not allowed to do this, the Trump regime opted to just go along with what Israel wants. Again, because that's what the Israel lobby paid him to do. It was money well spent. And when you take into account all of the fundamentalist freaks that are in his ear telling him war with Iran is essential, it's no surprise to see that this was the outcome. And to be clear, I don't think that the Christian Zionists in his regime are telling him that he should attack Iran to usher in the end times, because he doesn't subscribe to that philosophy. I think that they're probably telling him that, you know, if he does this, he's going to be viewed as this courageous and brave leader. But keep in mind, you know, it's not just the Israel lobby and Christian Zionists here. It's also the neocon establishment that's being bankrolled by the defense industry that also wanted Trump to do this. So when you have so many amoral merchants of death and religious extremists pushing for war with Iran, this is the end result. It's always going to be the end result. The warmongers get what they want, and people opposed to war, innocent people who don't want to be killed, they don't get what they want. But out of all of the warmongers, I've got to admit, I am the most concerned about the religious fundamentalists.
Yeah, 100%. Right? Like, the 100%. Because, like, again, and Mike might make the same point that I made. It's because, like, when you have a situation when these people are talking about having a mandate from God, that's dangerous. Maybe Israel needs a regime change. Yeah. Spain is broken from the vassalization by the U.S. The world is coming to an end. Like, this is going to drive a lot of people straight into that sort of stuff. Trump scratched the back of his neck right after he beat. If the neck looks that bad, what shape is the junk Melania's using Visine as these chicos? Oh my god, look. I wish him well. Apparently cut them off, them referring to Israel and any supplying of aid to them was too spicy for the YouTube automated censors. Really? And mind you, I put them down. I put those YouTube, at least for the chat settings, I opened them up. And it still censored that? That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird.
Because if you unironically believe that you're carrying out the will of God, then literally nothing else matters. Not laws, not the Constitution, not poll numbers, not approval ratings, not money. Nothing but prophecy matters. Because God's will is more powerful than all of that in your mind. So I think that we should all be concerned that religious lunatics have infiltrated our government at the highest levels. And if people like Pete Hegseth think that we have to wage war and we have to commit war crimes against, people in Iran for Jesus, then he should be stripped of his power immediately and placed in a fucking straitjacket before he gets more people killed. Because that...
Yeah, like the very rational... The very rational and reasonable response is to immediately invoke article. Like, if there was any rationality, happening here, if there was any rationality happening here, they would be invoking Article 25, getting rid of this president immediately, calling for impeachment and trials for the war crimes that these people have committed. Like, I mean, this would be like a rational scenario, right? But we do not live in rational times, folks. Yes, I saw that, Bruno. And also reported, it's being reported that the Spanish aren't also letting the U.S. use anything. Yeah, I know it's not the channels because this happens across channels and left-leaning channels, and often it's very innocuous ways of stating it. It's wild. If it was contextually linked to Israel, yes, it will 100% censor. Even if I don't mention Israel, knows I'm referring to it somehow prior to comments. Or that is creepy stuff. That is creepy. Why does YouTube like this? Make a chat system that doesn't simply lose comments frequently, or it's actually ham-fisted top-down imposed by politically motivated censorship, but it's certainly noticeable. Yeesh. Straight jackets across the US go into hiding because they don't want to be around Keg's breath. That is creepy. Have you heard about Ecuador? Yeah. I have. I don't know like how what happened there. That is out of like just so like we're you know, considering all the stuff that's happening, the stuff with Ecuador is like the least alarming of all the stuff that's happening. There's just so much. It's just so much to keep up with, and just so much stuff happening. I like the joint operation that happened in Ecuador is honestly like on the totem pole of things. It's like the least concerning of all of them. I'm the first to admit I can perhaps derive a little too much childish enjoyment from a carrion flirtation with the son of Fed posting. I look up articles about Ecuador, and the articles were all quite short and few details, at least this morning. Clearly, even the media is not interested in reporting on it. No. But often it strikes comments that, and honestly, I did not intend or anticipate being really spicy on how they were phrased at all. Yeah, I don't know how YouTube decides. It's kind of weird, though. From 1 to 10, give me your best response on Kristi Noem getting burned for her alleged affair with her top aide. Was it Kristi Noem, or was it this other senator? This other Republican?
Is not acceptable. You're free to believe what you want, but when you have power and your religious fundamentalism dictates what you do while you're in power, that's a different story. That's where we say, no, you don't get to do this. At least a sane society would say you don't get to do this. But since this is the United States of America and we don't hold anyone accountable, even when they murder and commit acts of pedophilia, then he's going to do it. And I guess that we're just supposed to sit.
Wow, I did not know that, but that's not surprising. Looney Tunes, that's not surprising. Was I supposed to read your comment? I thought you were talking to Seven. Trump is a lot of things, but he's not a Christian nationalist. He's not a Christian nationalist, but he's basically a vehicle for them. Like, fundamentally, it doesn't matter. He's still, like, essentially a vehicle that they are using, to push Christian nationalism. So it's like, functionally, it doesn't matter, right? If you have Pete Hegseth talking to commanders and saying that this is a holy war, essentially, does it really matter if Trump is or isn't a Christian nationalist if he's putting people in charge like that? It's the same difference to me, because at the end of the day, this is exactly what we're getting. Trump isn't a Christian nationalist, but he's enabling it. I'm reading the article from Daily Beast. She got grilled by congressional panel again. Yeesh. Think the limits of what you intend really believe are very readily apparent, at least particularly in the realm of politics. Like, no one gives a shit about policy makers' intent. We care about the results. Right, like, it doesn't matter if you call the legislation, right? If you call legislation Medicare for all, and it's just like, and the legislation is just like concentration camps, then, like, right? Oh, but he believes in Medicare for all. Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. Like, the actual outcomes of the legislation, or what you're doing is what matters. So yeah, like, who cares if he's not actually a Christian nationalist? or believes in Christianity, it seems to me like he's the perfect vehicle because they absolutely feel that way, and they absolutely put Trump in power for that exact reason.
And take it. Well, I say to hell with that. I say we need a general strike, shut down this entire fucking economy until everyone from the Trump regime is out of power, because this cannot be tolerated. The things that they are doing are not acceptable. And I feel like,
oh, it's okay. The war in Iran is going to shut down this whole economy. We're doing great, folks. We're doing great. Yeah, right. For people older than 12 and not lying, they'll identify it clearly as a game. I've only heard of the Ecuador situation from Midas Touch.
I'm screaming into the void because everybody who's watching this already knows that, but until the rest of America wakes up and understands the threat that is posed by this extremist regime, then nothing is going to change. Like, until it becomes so disruptive that Americans cannot go on with their daily lives, they're just not going to wake up. You know, it has to affect them personally. So it might have to get worse before it gets better. I hope that's not the case, but I just think that people should automatically think it's bad that religious extremists are using...
I got bills to pay, broski. We all do. And it's about to get a lot worse, folks. It's about to get a lot worse. A strike is the only thing that affects the billionaire class, and that's all that Trump listens to. Oh, I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I agree. There definitely needs to be a general strike. I was just kind of being a bit of a bit of a smart ass. But also with some truth behind it. I was just being tongue-in-cheek.
The U.S. military as a vehicle to bring about the Armageddon. I think that's objectively bad, and every single person should be concerned about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a bit concerning. Yeah, I would say. Here's a perspective. Here's a perspective. Oh, I get it. Just a statement, then a criticism. Oh my God, things are doing. We're doing so great. Yeah, I would love to have shown up to work, but the paycheck literally doesn't cover the cost of gas to get there. Could the United States lose the war in Iran? I think we've already kind of lost it, right? Professor Jiang Qin makes 3 big predictions back in 2024. The first was that Donald Trump would win the election and become president. Seems like he was good there. The second was that Trump would start a war with Iran, which seems to be on point. Both of those predictions came true. The third prediction concerning for the United States, and that is the professor predicted that they would lose the war to Iran. Jiang made an appearance on Breaking Points this week to lay out how he fears it could all play out. All goods are now shipping past Africa instead of taking the Strait of Hormuz, which had 10 days, which increased the cost. We're about to see inflation and greedflation, not just yeah, 1000%. Yeah. Like, folks don't, I would say that the majority of like the American people don't understand like how this works. How this works. The folks, give it a minute, okay? Give it a minute for the actual effects of the Strait of Hormuz being closed to trickle down. It's trust me, it's coming. Okay, if nothing is done right now, if nothing is done to stop this, give it a minute, okay? And mind you, even the proposition of things possibly getting worse will raise prices regardless. And those prices aren't going to come down, okay? Those prices aren't going to even the speculation of something, will raise prices. That this is going to be, in for the long haul. Going to affect urban or rural areas worse? Both. Do you think no area is immune to this? As it turns out, I'm pretty sure people in rural areas will still need gas, and transportation and supply systems, as much as people in urban areas. So no, you're not safe, regardless of where you are. I don't know why it matters, but okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a multiplicity of compounding costs that makes it bad and worse the longer it goes. Yep. And Trump just did the 20% tariffs, and it's unclear. I think he said 15%. I don't know where he's at with that. I was lucky to be able to fill my heating oil tank last Tuesday before price started spiking. Ooh. And fuel costs affect everything else. Yep, because as it turns out, you need fuel to move things. Can rural areas grow more food? It's irrelevant. To win the war, a regime change needs to happen. What do you mean by that? Yeah, affordability is about to get way worse. You can't make groceries reach supermarkets by train. The current Iranian government. There is no regime change. That's not going to happen. What are you talking about? And given my analysis of how the war is progressing, I think that Iran has many more advantages over the United States. The reality is right now it's a war of attrition between the US and Iran, and Iranians have been preparing 20 years for this conflict. In their religion, this is a war against the great Satan, he continued. They've had many practice runs. Last June was a 12-day war where Iran were able to examine and analyze the strike capabilities of both the Israelis and the Americans. They've had a lot of time, 8 months, to fully prepare for this new attack. Zhang said they help fortify a strategy that Iran believes can take down the U.S. Their proxies, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, and militias have been able to really grasp the American mentality, and they now have a pretty good strategy on how to weaken and ultimately destroy the American empire. Zhang said the Iranians are waging war against the entire global economy. So the GCC countries, not only are they striking the GCC countries, American bases are going after critical energy infrastructure of these bases. And eventually they will go after the water desalination plants, which is the lifeblood of these nations, because they don't have fresh water supply. In fact, the water desalination plants provide 60% of the GCC water supply. So if a drone, and these drones cost $50,000, they wiped out the water desalination plant in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and that's silly 10 million people, right? They'd be out of water in 2 weeks. So yeah. Yep, petroleum is in plastics too. They claim they want the entire government structure of an entire theocratic country to change overnight, from a gun that is not only aimed at their directions being used. It's impossible to fulfill. Yep, they want it to be a Gaza 2.0. We got a revolution before us to win first, before we can imagine possibly nice things like actually being something we could actually try. Yep. The nationalization of something like Uber. Yep. The GCC gets 90% of its food from the Strait of Hormuz, so I know a lot of people are talking about the disruptions to the global economy, but right now the Iranians are actually threatening the very existence of Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, and Qatar. That's why this is important, that the Gulf states are really the linchpin of the American economy. Jian explained he believes the entire U.S. economy is currently propped up by AI investment, data centers. A lot of that comes from the Gulf states. So if the Gulf states are no longer able to sell oil and no longer able to finance this AI bubble in the United States, and this bubble will burst, and it will burst the entire American economy, which is really a financial Ponzi scheme. True. That's the dire situation the Americans are facing right now. Jiang also said about the shortage of munitions, particularly the missile interceptors for the United States and Israel. The United States military is not designed to fight a 21st century war. Remember, the military-industrial complex came to be after World War II. It was designed to fight the Cold War, and the Cold War is really about muscle flexing. Jiang said the entire military strategy revolves around sophisticated technology that costs a lot of money to build. Jiang then pointed to $1 million missiles trying to take out 50,000 drones. $50,000 drones. It's not sustainable, he said. Well, so what you're really seeing is a puncturing of the aura of invincibility that sustained the American hegemony for the past 20 years, especially after the collapse of the Soviet Union. This is not only reordering the global economy because of the signal collapse of the petrodollar, and with it, the entire US dollar base and reserve currency system, but also the global hegemony of the United States. Johnson went on to say that a regime change has never been made from airstrikes alone. Personally, I think most likely Trump will realize this is a bad idea, find some excuse to claim victory, and pull out. His base will believe the excuse, but the independent voters won't. I mean, possibly. I hope so. This is why the actual argument for tariffs was try to force companies to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. by making it cheaper to produce here, and he ran on ending income taxes and slashing federal spending on social programs. Yeah, and this is an insane argument that doesn't obviously plan out. It obviously doesn't pan out because that's not that's delusional. That's delusional to think that he could actually accomplish that with tariffs. Michael Hastner, welcome. You need ground troops, he said, and so unfortunately what's going to happen over the next few months is that the pressure will build on America to send ground troops, especially from GCC countries and Israel, which are being pounded right now by the Iranians. Remember, if GCC countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, if they go, then the petrodollar goes with them. Why is it delusional? Because that's not what tariffs, that's not how tariffs work in the way that he was implementing them. Do you see American manufacturing coming back? Are you delusional? Like, I don't understand. This is basic. Okay, this is elementary. Okay, this is elementary. Where do you see the infrastructure for manufacturing to be back in the United States? This is delusional. You should know better than that. You should know better than that. Where is the manufacturing here? Okay, he's had plenty of time to do that. You need more than tariffs. There's no way that the amount of actual at-home manufacturing is going to come the way that Trump sold it. It's just not. That's just not happening. Okay, companies want their cheap labor. Companies want their cheap labor, so they went to China. That's not coming back. We don't want the pollution, and AI is going to run those factories anyhow. Yep. Yeah, we'll get to that, Looney Tunes. And the Democrats and left argued it was better because it kept our goods cheaper. The left? Who is the left that you are speaking of? This was all a neoliberal project that was championed by Reagan. What are you talking about? This was a neoliberal project that was also not just championed by Democrats, but it was started by people like Reagan. Who is the left here? What are you talking about? People like Destiny argued it was better because it kept good cheaper. Destiny isn't the left. Are you okay? Destiny isn't the left. Destiny has never said he was, quote, the left at all. In fact, Destiny argues with the left quite frequently. What are you talking about? Who is the left here? Destiny is pro-capitalist. Of course he's gonna argue for it because it makes goods cheaper. Of course. He believes he's a believer in capitalism. Yeah, but you've conceded my point. What point? I haven't conceded anything. I'm saying you're wrong. I don't know who the left is here. But you're wrong. None of the things that you have said has manifested. If it was cheaper to produce goods here, if it was cheaper to produce goods here by avoiding tariffs, no. Not necessarily. Like I don't know how do you think this works, but producing things here doesn't automatically mean you get cheaper stuff. Why? You need an argument? Are you serious? You have no concept of how much it costs to pay American workers here versus how much it would cost to pay, for example, Chinese workers. Like, this has to be bait. This has to be bait. If you can't understand this very basic, simple, like, reality, then, like, maybe you should go read a book or something. So you're for cheap chattel slavery? Nope, never said that. This is bad faith. Get out of here. I literally never said that. Moron. I believe that none of that should have happened. See, in order for you to understand capitalism, you should probably read Marx. In order for you to understand capitalism and how it works, and the relation between the relation between worker and owner, and understand the dynamics, you should probably read Marx to understand that. What I believe in is the democratization. Is the democratization of the workplace. That is my belief when it comes to the economics point of it. Possibly we would be in a better situation if we had allowed a more democratization of the workplace across the board. Exactly, the workers would have never agreed to offshoring. That's why you need the workers to be in charge. The people that actually produce the value. Our trade policy rests firmly on the foundation of free and open markets. I recognize the inescapable conclusion that all of this history is taught. The freer the flow to world trade, the stronger the tides of human progress and peace. Yeah, thanks, Reagan. Infamous leftist Ronald Reagan. The infamous leftist champion of means testing, Bill Clinton, right? Which came off the success, the political success of Ronald Reagan, right? Yeah. So like, I don't know who the left TM is in this scenario, but yeah. Thanks for playing. Maybe go like read a book or something. Why did they do this? He said, of attacking Iran. I think there are three possibilities. I think all three are valid. First is hubris. If you look at history, this is how the empires behave. Maduro kidnapping was successful, and it was an adrenaline rush for Trump that made him overconfident in the capacity of the military. Hubris. Then you have to look at the internal political calculus, where even though America does not benefit from this war against Iran, Trump himself personally benefits. Why? Because the Saudis and Israelis are bribing him to attack Iran. Remember, the Saudis invested $2 billion in private equity firm of Jared Kushner, who's the son-in-law of Trump, and the Israelis thought through Miriam Adelson have been financing Trump's political career. Jensen Adelson offered to put $250 million if Trump were to run for a third term, which is not allowed in the Constitution. Also remember, if this war goes sideways and Trump is forced to use ground troops, he'll probably get approval from Congress, and this will get him emergency war powers, which will allow him to influence the midterms. So Trump is thinking about a third term, and at the ballot box, he probably won't get it. But if there's a war going on and you can delay the elections and you have emergency war powers and people rally around the flags, you'll probably get a third term. Yeah, but this is different. This is not the same. Books are woke. It's just an excuse for intellectually lazy and capable of not doing the work of actual research and analysis. Yeah, anything for us to forget about Epstein. Yeah. Do we really even need to go through this? Obviously, Americans aren't really happy about this. This should be obvious. This should be obvious, but you know, whatever. Google the 7 phases of falling empire. US is now in phase 6. Isn't happening for one unified cause. They are trying to do a few things for a reason. It's a dangerous flood the zone. Yep. America's always at war, never stopped elections. Yeah, but this is a super different special, you know, situation. Fake polls. Yeah, Americans seen what happened in Iraq. It's one of the few times I've seen messaging for F. The story of our involvement changes every day. Alright folks, my voice is slowly giving out. So we're gonna try to mosey on by. Yeah, to the morons who are talking about tariffs. Tariff refund delay could cost US taxpayers $700 million a month in interest. Yeah. Illegal tariffs. The federal government is estimated to owe American businesses up to $175 billion in tariff refunds after the Supreme Court struck down much of the administration's import duties last month, but the US could end up owing considerably more money, according to new analysis in interest payments. Nice. Research from the Cato Institute, a nonpartisan think tank. Yeah, the Cato Institute? Okay. Said the delay in refunding companies for emergency tariffs invalidated by the hard court is costing U.S. importers a total of $700 million per month or $23 million per day. Aren't we doing great, folks? If you import a good and pay a duty on that, the government and the government assesses what's wrong, you get your money back with interest because that capital is tied up. Fantastic. The Trump administration said it would issue refunds if the duties targeting nearly every U.S. trading partner around the world were found unlawful by the Supreme Court. Yeah, I believe that. Americans continue to reap the benefits of President Trump's powerful use of tariffs. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Carlos, you're in CBS, right wing. That's how Cato's nonpartisan. It makes sense. I don't know about Kato, but I'm currently running around Kanto hunting for Growlithe. You want to know where Growlithe is? I think you need Fire Red. And, I mean, one of the places you can find Growlithe in the old games, which I'm assuming is very similar to Fire Red, you'd probably found Growlithe in Cinnabar Island. Go to Cinnabar Island in the abandoned like lab, Blaine's like the abandoned mansion or whatever it was called. You'll find Growlithe there. From OG 1998 Pokemon knowledge over here. Yeah, Cinnabar Island. I'm young, by the way. The U.S. Court of Appeals for Federal Circuit on Monday denied the Trump administration's request to delay this refund process. The decision opens Cinnabon Island. That sounds delicious. Did I say Cinnabon by accident? See, that might have been a Freudian slip. I'm hungry. The decision opens the door for U.S. Court of International Trade to set up a process to reimburse the small business that successfully challenged Mr. Trump's global tariffs. Cato's calculation of how much the government owes, in addition to interest payments, assumed the U.S. collected about $175 billion when they were struck down in February, based on that figure on estimates from the Penn Wharton budget model at the University of Pennsylvania and other sources. Fantastic. I don't think you did? Oh, okay. I was just making sure, because I do things like that, by the way. Anyways. Yeah, bad stuff. So really great job on the tariffs here. Fantastic. Gonna cost us a ton of money. Not to mention the ton of money we're spending going to war with Iran. We're doing great. Wait. Kristi Noem? Corey Lewandowski? Is that what you're saying? Kristi Noem and Corey Lewandowski? Ooh. There's information I could have lived without. It was the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. They got me with the nostalgia. This is widely being reported on. This is information I don't really care to know, honestly. Just prosecute her for her crimes. Seriously, straight to jail right away. I did not need to know that information. Oh my god. No, I believe you. I believe you. Excuse me, I believe you. U.S. Senate to vote on Trump's war powers as Iran conflict. You mean the Iran war that the U.S. and Israel started? Well, as it's been sent to me not that long ago, and I think somebody else in chat mentioned it as well. Yeah, so I was gonna just kind of go over this because, well, I didn't know that the vote already happened, or I guess it happened while the stream was happening. apparently, the GOP have rejected a resolution to curb Trump's ability to unilaterally take military action. So yeah, that kind of went down pretty quickly. 47 to 53 fell mainly along party lines, with Senator Rand Paul, the GOP co-sponsor of the effort, was the only Republican to join all but one Democrat. Senator Fetterman, of course, can't find a Fetterman to of course support the situation.
And I'm very pro-Israel, so we can agree and disagree on things.
Sure. How are you doing? I was wondering what you made of the Department of War's sinking of an Iranian naval ship.
Just so we know.
Oh, I want to.
Just so we know what kind of person we're dealing with here.
I want to offer condolences to your boss. I know he's all broke up about the Ayatollah. Was, you know,
who's our boss?
What?
Who's our boss?
Huh?
You're offering your condolences to my boss?
Yeah. No. What I'm saying though, it's like I know who you work for. That's very anti-Israel. And
we just support a humanitarian law, sir.
He's very anti-Israel, and I'm very pro-Israel, so we can agree and disagree.
Brain damage.
Sure. Do you think it's okay for the U.S. to bomb an Iranian naval ship in international waters?
I think the world's better that he's dead now, and I think it's a good thing now that Iran will never acquire a nuclear bomb.
What about the naval ship today, though?
We'll have much else to have that, and if they think it's a good idea to have a nuclear bomb, really disagree on that.
Is it okay for the U.S. to bomb naval ships without a declaration of war, though?
I'm sorry. I support killing the Iranian leadership.
I mean, do we really need anything else? But the Democrats should just kick him out of the party, but they don't mind him. Yep. Is he on an escalator going the wrong way?
I'm not talking about leadership,
why wasn't he upset about the way they killed all the Iranians?
Senator,
why wasn't he upset about it? He wasn't angry about
who's he?
Killing the thousands and thousands of young Iranians. He didn't seem bothered by that.
Who's he, Senator?
Absolute clown. What a disgusting human being. The measure would direct the removal of U.S. forces from Iran that haven't been authorized by Congress, pointing to the Article 1 of the Constitution, which gives Congress the sole power to declare war. As the vote was underway, Paul lamented a Congress without ambition. James Madison never imagined or envisioned a Congress with no ambition. He said, "Does the Congress with really a belief structure in defending legislative prerogative? They are just a rubber stamp for whatever a president tells them to do so." I mean, somehow Rand Paul in a twisted reality here. This is 100% true. This is what powerful people have the privilege to say that, because they already know multiple fail-safes are put in place to guarantee whoever is close enough to even ask these stage questions to them won't be a person both A, inclined, or B, be able to deliver even a fraction of the justice they've earned. That's what this says. And stop clocks, that's my theory. Yeah. Yeah, total Farquaad energy. Some of you may die, but that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. It feels so sad to say, but I think Fetterman passed away. Not just his mind that's empty, it's so too. Ask his wife, it's not Fetterman. I mean, it's him making the decisions. But I agree. This person is a husk of what they claimed to be. Anyways, so my motto, mas tequila, tequila. Oh boy, we're gonna need a lot of that going forward. Let me tell you. So on the House section, what does Mike Johnson have to say?
Look, we don't make political decisions at a time like this. We're making decisions that are necessary to keep American citizens and troops safe. That is the first responsibility. Unlike the Democrats,
We don't make political decisions, says...
we don't sit around in a back room and...
We don't make political decisions, says the politician. Okay.
decide what's politically expedient. We do what we must do to protect the homeland, and we let the chips fall where they may.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Protecting the homeland by attacking Iran? I'm sorry. Did the homeland move to the Middle East? I'm confused. Are we living in an alternate reality where we're all living in the Middle East right now? Are we all in the Middle East protecting our? I'm confused.
To protect our interests, to protect America first priorities and principles, and that's the people of this great country.
Yeah, America first by going to war at the behest of Israel for a insane cult that believes that they're going to bring in the Armageddon, that they're going to usher in the Armageddon to get Jesus to come down again.
And so I trust the American people. I trust that they will evaluate all these
The American people don't want to go to war with Iran.
things, and they will understand that this administration did the right thing. I think they'll reward it politically, but if people get a bad taste in their mouth for what happened back here in the first part of the year in Iran, they just do. But we know, and history will record, we did the right thing. I think passage of a war powers resolution right now would be a terrible, dangerous idea for all the reasons I've just explained. It would empower our enemies. It would kneecap our own forces.
Just to be clear, Congress has the power to declare war. So if he actually felt that way, wouldn't he be drumming up Congress to make a formal declaration of war against Iran? Does Mike Johnson not know his job? I'm confused here. Like, does Johnson not know his job? If this is true, if this is true, Mike Johnson could pass the War Powers Resolution along with the Senate and then just declare war, because that's, as it turns out, Article 1, which is what the War Power Resolution was intended to emphasize. He could just declare war. He could have he could have Congress declare war. Keebler out Mike Grinder Johnson.
And it would take the ability of the U.S. military and the commander-in-chief away from completing this critical mission to keep everybody safe. Iran has attacked 3 of our U.S. embassies in the last couple of days.
Yeah, because we attacked them. The reason why, first of all, our bases shouldn't be there anyways. Right? Our bases shouldn't be there anyways. First and foremost. But also, Iran wouldn't have attacked our bases if we didn't bomb them. If we didn't kill hundreds of their people. At this point, it's about 1,000 plus that we know of. If we didn't bomb them, they wouldn't be bombing our bases right now. Okay? The service members who have died in these attacks are all on everybody who voted for this. Okay? They're all on all of these MAGA people. All of their lives are on people like Mike Johnson, Donald Trump, anyone who is supporting this, John Fetterman. All of them have blood on their hands. Yeah, he kisses out Trump's ass. He will never do that.
Okay, those are sovereign territories of the U.S. They have declared war on us.
No,
I don't
haven't.
believe in the semantics. We've talked about the language this morning. We're not.
The language is very important because there's legalities. There's literally there's legalities between saying that we're doing war we're formally declaring war versus like we're doing a special military operation.
At war right now. We're 4 days in to a very specific, clear.
We are at war, by the way.
Mission, an Operation Epic Fury, which has two components, as you know.
That could be.
Iran has made no declaration of war. Yep. They were literally just attacked. That's it. So it kind of goes with like what, you know, what's happened here with this Senate vote. The Senate and the House are not really willing to rein this in. The Operation Epstein Fury. Oh, sorry, Soul Life. I don't think we're gonna make it because it's just about 7 o'clock. Wolfland, welcome. But MAGA said no more wars. You know, John Fetterman, he should have left and come join the MAGA Republicans. He's definitely welcome to join the Republicans. You know, John Fetterman has been so good to me. He's lately been voting so good. I hate how blue that page is. Wait, which page? I don't believe in semantics. I don't believe in clarifying the equals. I don't believe in clarifying the meaning of words I'm using. Yeah. Oh, MS Now. Gotcha. So during these discussions before the vote, yeah, Fetterman votes with Republicans on every single issue. Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth on Wednesday said that this operation had just begun with more U.S. assets being sent to the region. Schumer said in a statement, showed that it's clear they are widening the war, and I fear now more than ever they're going to put boots on the ground. That's precisely what the American people fear. Well, Congress has basically not reined any of this in. And as far as I'm concerned, this is probably not going to be ending anytime soon. And we're all going to pay the price in one way or another, unfortunately. At least that is my my estimation about how things are happening. Alright folks, it's time for me to get out of here and get some food. Thank you all for being here. I gotta go. Dude's gonna play Pokemon on that treadmill. Nice. Nice. Godspeed. Thank you all for being here. You guys are what makes this channel go. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Thank you, Heat. Thank you, Michael Hasser, for modding the chat. I appreciate it. Folks, if you want to support the channel and want to do the things, check out the links. Check out my show on this space every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Join the Discord. That's super important, folks. Spread the word far and wide. We're here Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. Check out my show on Tuesday. No, thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate it. And so ends another woke episode of A Difficult Truth. You know, he should have just admitted that he's a woke spy from CNN fake news. Thank you for your attention to this matter. You know, one day I'm going to really work on this. On these impressions. They'll get better. They'll get better with time. Thank you, Ladybug. Appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you, Boku. Appreciate it. Alright, folks. As always, to the best of our ability, these are trying times, folks. I'm not gonna really sugarcoat it. These are difficult times, folks. To the best of our ability, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I'll be on. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Tomorrow, possibly, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care, chat. I hope you all like my Woker melons. And stay woke, stay gay. Hang tight, folks. Yeah, peace on. Alright, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.